Daniel chapter 11 verses 25 through 27. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be stirred up to battle with a very great and mighty army. But he shall not stand. For they shall forecast devices against him. Yes, they that feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow. And many shall fall down slain, and both these kings' hearts shall be to do mischief. And they shall speak lies at one table, but it shall not prosper, for yet the end shall be at the time appointed. He shall stir up his power against king of south. Octavian, Augustus Caesar, Mark Antony, and Lepidus formed the triumvirate to avenge the death of Julius Caesar. Lepidus was finally pushed out of the triumvirate, leaving Mark Antony and Octavian. Antony went down to Egypt on government business, but he fell victim to the arts and charms of Cleopatra. He started to bestow upon her province after province to please her. Octavian thus had no trouble declaring war upon Egypt and Cleopatra, even though the war was really against Antony, as neither of them were satisfied with only half the kingdom. King of South shall be stirred up, very great and mighty army. Antony assembled a fleet of 500 ships with 200,000 foot and 12,000 horse at Samos. But it shall not stand. Octavian assembled only half the amount of ships with 80,000 foot, unlike Antony. All of Octavian's troops were hand-chosen, and only experienced seamen were picked. As soon as the season permitted, both armies were put in motion on both sea and land. The battle was fought September 2, BC 31 at the mouth of the Gulf of Ambracia, near the city of Actium. Cleopatra became frightened by the din of battle, fled when there was no danger, taking 60 ships with her. Antony, out of his infatuation for her, went after her. Feed of the portion of his meat shall destroy him. First, Cleopatra deserted him with 60 ships. Then his army, being disgusted at his infatuation for her, went over the Octavian's side, who was more than happy to take them. Also, when Antony came to Libya, he found that the forces that were left there under Scarpus had declared to Octavian, Caesar. Antony committed suicide by stabbing himself. His army shall overflow. Antony's armies went over to Octavian. Many shall fall down slain. Before evening closed, the whole fleet was destroyed, most of the men and all of the treasure on board perished. In verse 27, we see the final outcome of the conflict. Both Octavian and Antony were formerly in alliance, yet whilst professing friendship to each other, they were both striving for universal dominion. Their conversation to each other was lies spoken at one table, for they were hypocrites in professing friendship of one another. All counsels did not prosper. Octavian eventually came out the victor, with Antony killing himself and also Cleopatra. But Rome's end was still to be at the time appointed.